Hello. Oh, yeah, hair, good. Okay. Hi, Earthy Girl Marilyn. How are you? How are you been? Welcome to the slightly later book club. So, yeah. So this is going to be our last. Hugs to you too. This is our last time with our Susun Weed Healing Wise. So yeah, I'm gonna wait and see if anyone else shows up because we're supposed to have a discussion. I had some questions, some like review questions, so we'll just see how that goes. And then we're going to I'll go on a tangent while we're waiting. I was at my local bookstore and I found this book here, which I've never heard of or seen before. And it's the Herbal Book of Making and Taking by Christopher Headley and No Shaw. Yeah. And this is it. Thought it was cool. And it's time. And they are herbalists from the UK. And it's a distillation of 35 years of experience and experimentation. An herbal book of making and taking. It's a collection of essential wisdom for the inspiring herbalist, put together by one of the most loved and respected teams in modern herbal medicine. This book is filled with clear, concise instructions and detailed recipes, and it's gathered over the decades of practice. Normally intended as a teaching aid for herbal students, this is a comprehensive guide to the craft of medicine making for the modern herbalist. So it just goes through. It's like, here's how you make decoctions. Boom, boom, boom. Here's how you make tinctures. Talking about sourcing, drying, buying dry herbs, collecting herbs. Questions to ask your supplier. If you're buying herbs from someone. So it's just really so it's really cool. Yeah, look, we had a troll. Woo! Okay, so I'm just going to read you this. So it's neat. It's really neat. Introduction to tasting herbal medicines, drying and storing. So if you sort of want to read just a book on how to make herbal medicine in a very sort of concise way, this seems really, I like it. They may do stuff Their methods may be slightly different than what we use in the States, but every herbalist is different in how they make their medicine. Hold on. Okay, so this is the neat part, and then I'll get back to Susun Weed. There are only 2 rules in herbal medicine. 1, do not eat anything until you have seen me eat it first. 2, label everything and keep notes on what you have done in case you're asked to repeat it. And then there are no other rules, only general principles and practical applications of those principles. Take any advice or instructions from other herbalists, including from ourselves, from books, or from websites, as provisional guidance only. Test everything for yourself before deciding. There is no substitute for hands-on practical experience. Follow our recipes as a start, and then develop your own. Keep notes on your changes. Okay. So we're going to start. I'm just looking for the questions. Okay. So welcome to our wrap-up of Susun Weed's Healing Wise. It's taken us a while to get here, so I hope everyone has enjoyed the journey. At the end, I'm going to talk about our new book. So we have a new book, and I'm going to have a video that's going to go up that I'll talk a tiny bit about it. Okay, so right. Well, Juicy, if you're not a troll, I'm glad. I was not talking about you. We had someone in here earlier. So if you're here in earnest, welcome. But yes, no, I was not speaking specifically for you. We did have somebody else. So that was pretty obviously, yeah, causing some trouble. Okay, so I don't know if anyone here has read the book, but so the first question is, what did you already know about this book subject before you read the book? So the book is, of course, about herbal medicine in this sort of wise woman tradition. So, I mean, we could just broaden that out too. Did you, what was your knowledge base before you read the book? Were you very familiar with herbalism? Were you very new to herbalism? You know, was this your first sort of herbal book that you came across? It was really one of my first books, which was really cool. I found it a very good a very good beginner's book. So that is the first question. Okay. All right. And number 2. What new things did you learn? Pansy! Buffering can hear but not see you. Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, at least you can hear me. You want to try reloading again, or? So GC Stag says, I've been studying it my whole life, but I can't say I read this one. Your stream popped up in my recommendations. Let's read them in. Oh, well, awesome. Well, I'm really glad. Oh, it's been a rough start. So sometimes it's later than normal. Yeah, if you're interested, we have done, this is part like 35. So in this book, I don't know if you're familiar with the wise woman tradition. It's sort of like she likes to work with one plant at a time. She doesn't, when she does her tinctures, she doesn't do the weight to volume method. She does the folk method. And she talks about 3 traditions of healing: the wise woman, the heroic, and the scientific. Which so if you're interested, you can check back on the. I have a playlist in the description. So we ramble a bit, but yeah, we've had some really good discussions. So sometimes there's less people, sometimes there's more people. There's a Facebook group also, if you want to keep up with, what's going on. But, or if you have, want to show us your, we share Herbally stuff on there too. I mean, oh my gosh. Okay, so what new things did you learn? Oh, it's working now. Great, Pansy. Awesome. And then number 3 is, what questions do you still have? Like, is there more that you'd like to learn about herbalism than that was in this book? Do you have any questions that maybe she raised that, or are you still interested in like other aspects of herbalism? I'm familiar with their product and the name. I'll check it out. Yeah. Susun Weed is kind of eccentric. She's got a YouTube channel, but I do really like her books, and how she expresses her herbal knowledge, and her language tends to be a bit flowery and flowing, so it's not like the most straightforward thing, but it's very poetic and pretty, and I feel like it really captures the emotions of like the herbs and the herbalism, the feeling. So, okay, 4. What else have you read on this topic, and would you recommend this book to others? So is there like a favorite, another herb book that you really like? And then also, do you think that after we've read all of Susun Weed's Healing Wise, that you feel like that this book is a good book to recommend to others? So, I think Heather's asleep. I don't think she's made it. Anyone? Anyone who has read the book, what do you guys think? Would you recommend it to others? Or like, no, total awful, bleh. Okay. It had nice drawings you could cover. It did, didn't it, Fancy? It did. Yes, it did. Yeah, that was great. The next book doesn't have the nice drawing. Look at this dandelion. But let's see. I mean, I think the pictures are really nicely well done. Nettle. Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts too. Let's see. Ooh. The violet. So, and I did color in some nettle and the violet in my other book. I have 2 copies. Because I used one is falling apart. This is a new one because I've used it so much. Okay, so and you guys, like, these questions are also, like, if you were watching this in the replay, you feel free to answer in the comments or on the Facebook group. So, you don't have to answer them now. I just wanted to do a little more formal wrap up than what we usually do. So, so I'll just read the rest of them, and then I'm going to talk about the new book. How about we do that? So 5. Was there a chapter or passage that stood out to you or gave you an aha moment about the topic? 6. Was there a specific message or theme? So what do you think the specific message or theme of the book was? Like, what was Susun Weed trying to say when she was writing this? What was her purpose for writing this book? And the way she, what she included. 7. How does the overall book relate to your life or experiences? So that one, like, does it make sense to you? Can you see it fitting into your life? Have you had sort of similar feelings about the herbs? Marge, how are you? Woohoo! Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just going over these discussion questions. Sorry I'm late. Had to jump into a bath to raise my body temperature. Oh, that'll do it. Were you cold? I found that after I take a shower, I'm a lot warmer. So well, hopefully you're all good now. It was so warm the last couple of couple of weeks that it was cold. It's cold tonight, and I was just really shocked. Yes, it's cold when I'm not around the fireplace. Yeah. Do you heat your house mostly with wood? We used to do that growing up, and it was really nice and warm downstairs. It was a lot colder upstairs. So, okay, 8. Did this book change your perspective or maybe even your life? So did you have an idea about herbs and herbal medicine before you read this book, and has it changed afterwards? It's a fake gas fireplace with fans, so it blows hot air. Okay. It's still pretty. We had a wood stove, and then my dad put fans. He literally cut holes in the ceiling and put fans, and so there are vents, so they would blow up into the second floor. And then the house had electric heat, but it was like really, really expensive. So we just sort of turned it on to warm up the room. One thing I learned from the book is I developed the idea. Okay. That people are the missionaries for herbs. They live to tell people the message: you really are what you eat. Yeah, I believe that. It's really important what we eat. Sometimes, maybe it won't affect our health for a really long time because our bodies are really, they can be really strong and resilient. But like after eating like nothing but maybe fast food all the time, and not a lot of veggies, you are going to develop a bunch of health problems. Where if you ate better, then you wouldn't have them probably. I mean, you'd have less. Everybody, you can have some genetically predisposed, tendencies to have certain illnesses, but we do the best we can, right? But we can control what we eat. We can't control sort of fate, genetics, blah, blah, blah. And Susan is a really unique personality. She is a really unique personality. Yes, she is. Linnea! Hello. I know. I miss you too. I have not been able to get to any of your streams. It's been like so crazy for me. Like, so welcome. Hey, this is our last book club with Susun Weed's Healing Wise. So you guys, you can, but I'm glad you're back on. So hopefully I'll be able to catch some of your videos at some point. January's been so crazy. So okay, guys. So those are the questions. They're in the description. So if you guys want to answer those later and in the comments or in the Facebook group, feel free. No pressure. Just something, if you want to write it in your journal, just something for you guys to think about. And we're done. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, so last week we had a drawing and a giveaway. Pansy won the giveaway. And Pansy, did you get your book? I'm gonna have to check. You probably got it, right? You did. You did get it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait, you didn't get it? It said it was delivered. Okay. So if you don't... Okay. Oh, you're not talking about that. Okay. Never mind. Chat's going on. So this is the book. This is the new book. Pretty excited. It's a Weed Wife's Remedy, Folk Herbalism for the Hedgewives by Kiva Rose Hardin. Yeah, I started, so like I said earlier, I'm going to post a video with some links, but let me put the book title in here. Okay, and I'm going to pop up her website also. Copy. So, yes. So that's her website. And I would go check out the website. She's got a magazine, the Plant Healers magazine. She hosts, organizes an herbal conference in Durango, Colorado. And she's got all kinds of like recipes and facts about herbs. It's really good. She used to have another website, and I found her to be a really, really good reference for information on herbals. She also apparently, her and her husband have written a whole bunch of really neat books that I didn't know about. So, so this book is organized a little bit like Susun Weed's book, where she goes through and has a chapter on each herb. And so there's going to be a little bit of crossover. So she's going to talk about violet, which we did talk about with Susun Weed. She's going to talk about yarrow, mugwort, goldenrod, onion, Oregon grapefruit, honeysuckle, wild mints, oats, which vervain, blackberry and raspberry, mullein, clematis, red root, and evergreens, which is really awesome because I some of the ones like honeysuckle, I've often found it hard to find information on, and we haven't. So the ones that we've gone over with some wheat are violet, oats, and that's it. So everything else will be new, which is cool. And I realized I had like a bunch of yellow right here. That's good. All right, don't look at that fat side of my face. So I realized that, yeah, as I was reading, so I started reading, and as I was reading the violet section, I realized that, you know, she's got a lot of, you know, information that, you know, she's done. I felt like she was covering some more information in violet that was additive to what Susun Weed was talking about. And we're just getting violet from a different herbalist perspective. So that was really cool. So also in this book, she talks about, it's a little more woo. Like she talks about the hedge. She talks about magic in reference to herbalism. And so she has chapters like, the introduction is gathering the hedgewise, dirt magic for the weed wife. There is also a chapter called In the Weed Wife's Kitchen, Stocking the Cottage Apothecary. So talking about like what is in her apothecary, it looks like, and talking about, I guess, what you might want for yours. And in the canyons of the other worlds, mythopoetic plant medicine. So that sounds interesting. Tales of the old wives, myths, flora, and culture. So these are interspersed in between chapters about just the herbs. The witch at the edge of the woods. A spinning of twining green, my journey back to enchantment. And then there's recommendations and reference books. So Sent hubby outside to recheck mailbox. No book? Okay, because it says it was delivered on Sunday. So if you don't get it, I'll have to put it in for you to get it again. Let me see. Let me just, Pansy, let me double check your address later on, and I'll email you. Okay, so that we make sure that we had it at the right address. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit from the introduction. It's Gathering the Hedge Wise. And it's really interesting because it's not necessarily, it's when you start reading the, I like that she has included a lot of some folklore. When you start reading about the herbs, like she did include some folklore about violet, so like in between this like very practical herbal stuff, she's like sort of woven in this other like magical side of the herbs, which is cool. Dirt magic, yes. Yes, Marge, yeah. So it's pretty neat. But this first introduction is all talking about the word hedge has many meanings and implications in English, varying to some degree depending on which side of the Atlantic you reside. Its fundamental meaning is as a boundary, most commonly associated with those formed by living plants, as is common throughout parts of Europe, especially in Ireland and Britain. From the hedge, we have hedge wines made with foraged fruits of common feral or hedge plants like elderberries, damsons, cherries, blackberries, rosehips, and rowan berries. The hedge schools of Ireland, where there were my ancestors hid from authorities to be educated in non-conforming faiths under the oppressive rule of 18th and 19th century English rule. Hedges are where the wild finds refuge, where the feral heart takes root and digs down into ravaged soil to produce sweet, bitter-sweet fruit. To this day, hedges provide most needed diversity through the food and shelter they offer to myriad creatures, especially where there is no native forest left as habitat. Bye, Luna. Have a good night. Bye. Thanks for dropping in. So I am going to reread all this stuff when we have our first official book club of this. But I just wanted to read a little bit for you guys. From the intro, and then maybe a little bit about the book. So I'm skipping a little bit. This book is a love letter to the hedgewise, those folks who hold simple dirt and take roots in one hand and the mysteries of the dreaming in the other. I write these words for all you witches at the edge of the wood, you hedge riders and hooded wanderers, for those serving their community through hard work and hunches that won't be ignored, and most of all, for you who will always be unabidable, who remain in wide-eyed, wondrous love with the weeds and always seeking to pass her healing secrets to the next needing hand. Rogue healers with feral hearts that seek and serve regardless of legitimacy, popularity, or even safety. We do this work and dream these dreams because we are called to it and because it must be done. So I just really love that bit, because I kind of feel like, if you're learning or dealing with herbal medicine, you're often dealing with this, especially in the United States, this question of legality, and also, yes, popularity and people just sort of not understanding, but yet, I feel like it is needed to bridge sort of a much gap between where a lot of our Western medicine kind of falls short. So herbal medicine fills a need, and so like that's not being met by just Western medicine, but yet there's a rejection of it by Western medicine, and that's why you have people, coming and buying like herbs and supplements and looking for that. They're looking for that because, anyway, I just feel like herbal medicine and Western medicine should work together, hand in hand, because they each do something different, but they each do it, I think, equally important. I think one can learn from the other's perspective of healing. Anyway, that's what we were learning in Susun Weed's book about the 3 traditions of healing. So I can't stand how doctors can only deal with one part at a time. Yes, exactly, March. Because as we, I think a lot of us believe that everything is connected. All of our body parts are connected. So if you have an issue in one, therefore it can cause issues somewhere else, and you sort of need to treat the whole body, and mind, body, and spirit. When my body works one part of a time, that would be perfect, right? When you're just a mouth, you're like, you're just all compartmentalized, and like our stomach just worked by itself and didn't need any other parts, and and all that stuff. Yeah, that would be cool. But so the thing that I liked in Chinese traditional medicine is that you have a circle, right? And you have all the oh boy, I don't know if I can find it. Hold on. This might be it. No. I'm looking for notes, sorry. That because I got it. I took a whole half-a-day class on Chinese traditional medicine, and the I'm looking for graph. The 5-element theory, yes. So okay, I thought I had where all of the body parts were. Okay, so let's see if I can. Oh, maybe this is. No. Wait. Okay. All right. Okay. So the 5-element theory I hope it's not backwards. And please, my notes are super messy. So we start with the elements: earth, fire, air, water, wood. And then they picture these circles as sort of things overlaying. As you go through, okay, we're going to go on this side. And then you have the seasons, right? You have the spring, summer, fall, winter. And then you have the energy that sort of goes. So you've got the energy rises in the spring, and it goes and it reaches a peak in the summer, and it goes down in the fall. So the elements are following the same circle, and then they correspond with the season, and then they correspond with this interesting. Then they correspond with each. Yeah, here it is. So, earth. Fall is metal. Winter is water. Spring is wood. And then all of those have a body part. Like, and I thought I had that, and I don't know why. Oh, okay, I got it. So fire is the heart, earth is the spleen, metal is lung, water is kidney, and wood is okay, scratch that. But anyway, each kind of major organ is represented by an element, and then the elements, of course, also have the seasonal. But this circle here, so pretend that like you have an issue in the body part that corresponds with earth, right? So then it's sort of like a domino effect, and it's going to affect this element, this body part here, down the circle. And then, so when you're sick, you're like, hey, I'm sick in my stomach. I know that. Or my liver. You find where it is. And then to heal, you work with the two elements. You would work with fire and water. And those correspondent body systems. This is just sort of, I don't have, and then it gets a little more complicated. So, and I thought I had those sort of charts, but maybe I don't. But anyway, that's the basic five element theory, and so everything's connected. And this is a 5,000 plus, herbal medicine healing tradition. So this idea that we're sort of all the body parts are connected and everything else, and is not new. And Western herbalism it's not, the Chinese have been doing this for a long time. So the new thing is this rejection of this idea that, we should, you're breaking the person up into the parts instead of treating the whole. Okay, that was a ramble. But I am not an expert on the 5-element theory, but I think it's super cool. And I do want to know more. I would love to read more about it. Everything. What am I drinking? I am drinking aloe. Aloe juice for digestion. So, yes, it's kind of weird, but it tastes kind of weird. It's got a weird taste. But, so that is what I'm drinking out of my unicorn cup. My chicken cup broke, which is very sad. And then this is just water. Water. I got a new sticker. I am drinking two things. Yes, I am. So I read about the elements and the bodies years ago. I forgot about that. Yeah. It's cool, isn't it, Marge? Yeah. You know, I like that it connects with the elements, it connects with the seasons, and then it connects with the body system. Yeah, cute. I know. I got it from a local coffee place. And so I just added it to my water bottle. So I'm going to read this next paragraph. A Weed Wife's Remedy is the first in a series of books meant to serve as guides and touchstones for those who consider themselves students of healing and devotees to the magic of the plants. I offer here clinical experience, personal insight, folklore, and an abiding passion for the plants that have shaped my life in this world and opened a portal into a new one. For almost 2 decades, I have stood witness as the herbs healed wounds, soothed spirits, and nourished at a bone-deep level. But most of all, I have watched them transform myself and the people I work with. This transformation, so simple and so necessary, is exactly what we need in these troubled times. Question. Opinions on drinking out of a copper cup? I don't know, Marge. I don't know. I've never heard of anybody specifically doing that. So I absolutely don't know anything about that. Is that supposed to be, like, is there a reason that you would want to do that? Is there a health benefit? I would definitely have to look that up. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know. I think it would depend on if it was hot or cold liquids. Pansy, yeah. It's supposed to help with arthritis and asthma and other stuff. Oh, no, I have not heard. So that's cool. I wish I did know something about that, but because it could be, about 2 cups per day. You switch back to regular cups. I mean, if there is like no danger from doing this, like, if it's safe, then I would say, and not expensive, I would say definitely give it a try. You don't lose anything by trying. But that would be my suggestions. As long as it's safe and not expensive. Not very expensive. Because, when you get into a lot of money, people are usually trying to rip you off and stuff like that. So, I would just be wary of that. And, of course, safety issues. So, and then let us know if you do it. What did you think? So that's interesting. You think you've definitely heard it all, just being around like the natural health industry and all that stuff, but nope. I've heard copper bracelets help, but I'm not sure if possible ingestion would be. I have heard that too, Pansy, yes. Marge, you could try the copper bracelets first if you wanted to, if you're kind of hesitant about the cups. you know. So that might be yeah, that might be a good way to just to try it out and then go for the cups if you wanted to. So, so yeah, that pretty much like sums up the book. Her little blurb on why she's rating it. The next book in this series, which is cool because if we like this book, we could read the next one. I think is about trees. So, but when did we start? Oh, we've been going an hour. Okay, cool. I just came across it as well. Oh, okay. Okay, I would do a lot more research then, which you are by asking us. So, what you know, yeah. Asking people you trust about this stuff it's important because there's a lot of like, you know, wacky stuff out there, and you got to do your research and you know, make sure things are legit and safe, and you know, everything else. Okay, so I think that might be it, guys. Next week we are going to be in earnest. We're going to start this book. I think I put the link in the description. Let me put it here for you guys. It's a little more pricey than let's see, hold on. Might fit. 1 second. For some reason the link I have here is like super long. It's like it will not do it. It will not do it. Yeah. Well, thanks, Marge. Yeah, I'm really enjoying reading it, and I really didn't know anything about any of her writings at all. You know, I just knew she was, you know, I thought she was a good herbalist. I've just come across her online. You know, she is her teachers are herbalists that I am also familiar with. So and you know, through the herb conference that looked interesting. I wish I could go. If anyone is by Colorado, by Durango, Colorado, I think it's in May. I was like, oh, I was doing a link. I am getting distracted as usual. Okay, hold on. Let's see. No, it's not. It's not going. Aha. Okay. This is going to be a shorter link. Okay, so that's the link to the book from Amazon. It's also on Goodreads, but it's a very similar price. I'm going to check out Susun Weed's book on menopause. Oh, yes. This one. Susun Weed has a book called Menopausal. This is the new menopausal years, the wise woman ways, alternative approaches for women 30 to 90. So I'm being 42. I definitely fall into this category. I have not read it thoroughly. I've been using it more as a reference, but it's great. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this book. Also, There's another book that has really great, this one here, Healing, this Rosemary Gladstar book, Herbal Healing for Women. Yep, Pansy, congratulations, happy birthday. Yep, Pansy just turned 53. So you're like just 11 years older than me. Well, like 10 and a half? No, I guess 11. My birthday's in October, so. This one has a great section on menopause, with wonderful recipes like high calcium candy, high calcium shake. They have something called Chrome candy. So anyway, so like another book, Pansy, if you're looking for another book. This one's been around a while, and I think the Susun Weed one has also. So you could probably find it on, you know, cheaper on thrift books or something if you wanted to do that. So oh, go back. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So this book is $25. And so yeah, it's a little more expensive than the Healing Wise book. I think that's like $12. But and their books tend to be more pricey. This is actually the cheaper one. Some other books are like $49. So I'm kind of glad we picked this one. And it's a new book. This came out last year. So I had no idea when I sort of stumbled across it. So oh, happy birthday, Marge. Oh my gosh. That's cool. So Marge is, yeah. It'd be cool to do a menopause book. But since our group, I think, is around, is mostly around that age. But until then, or maybe like a separate one. I don't know. I don't know how many books I can do. So, but until then, those two books have good sections on menopause. Oh man. Okay. So I think that's gonna be it. It's been, as usual, a little rambly. And I will post up. Oh, that. I will post that video that does a little introduction on this book. And then next week we'll start. And like always, you don't necessarily need the book because I'm going to be reading it out loud, and we're going to just be discussing it and going through it sort of like one section at a time. We don't always read like a chapter a week. It just depends on like where we go with it. And there's sometimes this discussion questions, but not always. And but anyway, thanks for bearing with me today, because it's been difficult, I think, for me to concentrate. Yeah, and if you guys want to answer those questions, feel free. If not, that's cool. So you know, they're for you. And I think that's it. Thanks for sticking with me today. Yeah, so oh my gosh. Anyway, it's late. There will be a Thursday where we won't have book club because I am working, but I'll let everyone know in the Facebook group. I think it's the last Thursday of the month. Let me just check. Yeah, So the 30th, we will not have book club. But anyway. Wow, so many birthdays in January. That's cool. None of my family had birthdays in January. None of my, everyone was like, a lot of people were born in fall. And then like, what? Aw, good night, Pansy. Thanks, you guys, for, oh man. It's just like, I can't say goodbye sometimes. So I just want to hang out all night, even though I've run out of things to say, for today. So, and I was gonna recommend books for traditional Chinese medicine that my acupuncturist recommended to me, but I don't have those right now. So, but okay. So next week we'll be back at 10, and we'll have a new title card and everything. And I'm gonna try to like label the episodes so people sort of know what they are instead of just by number. It'll have a number and also have like a title. So I think with a more descriptor, I think that'll help when we go back. If somebody wants to go back and watch them, that would be cool sometime. Slumber party. I know, right? I know. I'd be asleep though. I'd be asleep. I'll only stay up for you guys, you know. All right, so if you're liking my ramble, please hit the like button. Thank you if you did. And if you're new, you want to subscribe and hear all my more rambling, please subscribe. We're almost to 500 subs, and I'll do a giveaway. But anyway, so I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you guys next week, where hopefully I'll be more prepared, but sometimes I just wing it. All right, so good night.